Cool. Hello, 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 everyone. I'm Erin Brown. Let's talk. Today, on episode 12, we have Drew Bailey. This man is phenomenal. When I say baseball and softball is his life, like, maybe that's an overstatement, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Drew, let's go ahead and jump right in and tell us a little bit about, your background and where you're from and stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks, Erin. I appreciate you having me on. I'm from Christiansburg, Virginia. I grew up one brother, mom and dad, lived in the same house. I actually still live in the same house to this day, but middle-class family, really hardworking parents. My brother is actually in radio in Charlotte. He's got one of the top sports talk shows in Charlotte, actually, so I had to throw that out there to Kyle. He's got a baby on the way, so big times happening for him. But for me personally, I love sports. I love anything that breeds competition. And I grew up playing football, basketball, baseball. My dad was a big basketball guy, big baseball guy, and just I was always around the game. My dad's 62 years old, still plays basketball twice a week. Tonight's Monday, so he's probably lacing up right now playing. So I love sports. I love sports in general. I like the life lessons it teaches. But so yeah, I grew up playing all those sports. I played baseball at Concord University for 3 years, where I coach now. I was fortunate enough to play professionally for 4 years. I was drafted in 2010 by the Oakland A's, and my time as a player has came to an end. So I started my indoor facility, and I love to coach. I love to help develop. I love seeing athletes go through that adversity that they're going to face in life, and just try and prepare them a little bit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you said you played a lot of sports growing up.
Mm-hmm.
How did baseball be? How did that stick?
I always threw the baseball well. I had a good arm, and I loved to be on the pitcher's mound. That was kind of my thing. That was my home, and I love basketball. It was a close second for me, basketball and baseball. And I played wide receiver in football, and I enjoyed it, but it didn't compare for me personally to basketball and baseball. And baseball just kind of we figured out that was where I guess I was the most athletic, or where I was going to thrive the best. And so now I'm just trying to help this area. Baseball and softball aren't necessarily priorities, I guess you could say, in our area. Football, basketball are big. So just trying to help grow it in this area. But baseball I was always watching on TV, and it just kind of stuck with me. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that you're doing a phenomenal job in the area, and I don't know if you hear this often. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but we appreciate you and everything that you do out
Thank
here.
you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
That means a lot. Some days are easier than others. So I just got done with a huge renovation project in my facility. I just put a brand new drop ceiling in with brand new LED lights, and I'm trying to, and hopefully you and I can collaborate together. We had talked about that. I'm going to start hopefully feeding some kids in the community at least once a week here, starting the next 2 weeks. And
okay.
So yeah, I'm trying, but it takes people like you to get the word out, and you've done a lot of good things. So everything's a team effort.
Oh, absolutely. I believe in collaboration forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Okay, so baseball, basketball. So you had some time playing pro.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
can you talk a little bit about that and what that experience was like?
When I got drafted, I flew out to Phoenix, Arizona. Never been on a plane. Never really been on the West Coast. College athletics and professional athletics are completely night and day. College athletics is, more of a family atmosphere. It's a business to a degree, but it's a family atmosphere. And professional athletics are cutthroat. You might have a couple of friends here and there, but it's either you perform or you lose your job. You either move up or you go home. So definitely different, but it was something that made me a better person. I had to learn to fend for my own. I was out of my comfort zone. I was with people I didn't know, so I was in a part of the country I didn't know. So you learn a lot about yourself, how you respond to adversity, how you respond to successes. I mean, because you're in a completely different area outside of your comfort zone. So everything, nothing was normal, you know, when I first got into the professional game, but it was good. It was good. I'll be completely honest with you. If I could go back and do it again, I'd play college athletics again.
Yeah.
Because I'm with I'm getting ready to get married next summer, and some of my best friends will be in my wedding that I played college baseball with. So, but the travel is my favorite. Outside of the game, I love the travel. I was in Brooklyn, Staten Island. I've lived in Kansas City. I've lived in El Paso. I've lived in Southern Illinois. I've lived in Phoenix. I've lived all over the country. So that getting to see different cultures in different parts of the country and have the respect for how things are done differently in different parts of the country is one of my favorite things. The travel was great.
That's awesome. I love to travel as well. I love to fly, and
Yeah.
and I won't even say that the airplane ride is like the height. Like I like sitting in the airport and just watching people and they're doing their
Chaos.
thing. It's crazy, and recently hasn't been that way, obviously. But
Right.
yeah, I really enjoy flying and that whole getting out the car and waving goodbye and going in on
Getting
the
the
luggage.
bags.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
had never been on a plane, and it was Charlotte to Phoenix straight nonstop.
Was
And it
that a
was like
long flight?
5 hours, I
5
think. And
hours.
I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
I was feeling like the man. I was 21. I was like, I'm a professional athlete, and whatever. I probably was listening to some Little Wayne or something, something. I had my Beats by Dre. Back before they had the wireless, I had it plugged in, which I still got the wires. So,
In the wires. Nothing
yeah,
wrong with that.
I'm not on the AirPod level yet, but no, it was great. I would call my mom and dad, try and figure out how to cook, how to. I'm trying to do laundry the right way, and but it really helped mold me into who I am. But yeah, the professional game is just so much different. They say that you're paid, but minor league baseball players aren't paid like professionals. So yeah, it's
Gotcha.
different.
It's different. How was that adjustment? Like adjusting from college to the majors. How did that? What obstacles did you face during that time aside from figuring out how to cook? Any like mindset shifts you needed to make?
Oh, absolutely. So politics always run rampant in everything that you do, and you've got to accept that. I wasn't a high round draft pick, so I had less opportunity to advance, or maybe not advance, but less opportunities to make mistakes. Some of those guys that had $500,000 signing bonuses, which that wasn't me. Those guys had a little bit of room for error. So I really had to be mentally locked in. My second year in the minor leagues, I had a really good year, but the competition was obviously better. I played Division II, which I played on a really good college baseball team, but I was playing against athletes that I played against several guys that either were in the major leagues or got to the major leagues. And your mindset, like you had to be locked in because you were truly, everyone always says there's always somebody better than you, but you get the professional level, you figure there's a lot of guys better than you.
Yeah.
So the physical aspect of that is not everybody up there can run, hit, throw, whatever. So, and I always tell these guys and girls that I work with, you see some of the best athletes that we've ever seen in baseball. You don't actually ever see them on TV because mentally, those athletes on TV you see, they are checked in mentally every day.
Yeah.
They have the consistency that they bring, and a lot of it's through routine, which a lot of young kids, and not just in sports, but in life in general, routine is everything. And a lot of kids have no routine. They scramble, they don't have a study routine. They don't have time management skills, so routine was one of the things that I really learned. And Emma, my fiance, laughs at me, but if I don't make the bed in the morning, like I feel like my day is just off, so like small stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's, as an athlete, I've taken that into my professional world or my everyday life. Is just routine is huge, having a plan, creating muscle memory, and just sticking to a plan. So that was one thing I had to learn because I was always talented, but I wasn't as organized as I should have been with my daily routine, with my diet, with stuff like that. And you got to that level, you had to, the details, the small, minuscule, like just the small details they would be boring and they would be things that you might not want to do. You had to stick to those if you wanted to be good. So yeah, there were definitely some differences once you got to that higher level.
Yeah. Okay. I figured as much, but thank you for, diving a little deeper in there. I'm big on mindset and resilience. Those are my two things, and I really feel like resilience is. I made a post a little while ago that said resilience is mastering the fall. You're going to
Right.
fall. If you master it, you'll always get back up.
Guaranteed.
You're
Guaranteed.
guaranteed to get back up, and that's where
Hmm.
that grit comes in. And it sounds like you needed to have all of those, all of that mental strength to continually compete amongst your teammates.
Right. Right. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, and I'm talking to my guys right now, and I talk to my girls when I coach college softball. Like, life, the athletes I'm coaching right now, whether it's high school, middle school, my college guys that I coach, life's going to get a whole lot harder. But to them right now, the things that matter the most in the long term aren't going to be huge priorities in their life, or that have major implications on their life. So I'm trying to explain, hey, you missed a ground ball, or, you struck out, or, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a big deal. Life's going to get a lot harder. So we need to be able to handle those things. Even though it might be small to my eyes, it's still big to them. But
hmm
we've got to be able to handle that adversity, because, I mean, who learns a lot when everything's going well? Probably not a lot of people. You learn off your failures. Everything that you learn and everything that makes you a better person or a better athlete is learned off of when you fail. And I've had some freshmen in the last 2 weeks that have struggled a little bit, and
yeah,
it's okay though, but in their mind right now, the world's coming to an end, and it's, they're going to lose their scholarship or whatever's going to happen. But, it's all about getting back up and figuring out, hey, one thing that I think that I'm trying to do a better job of, and I've been saying this for 5 years, is if you can take the emotion out of things and self-evaluate the situation or the circumstance or whatever, you can progress very quickly in your
yeah,
craft of whatever it is. But when you're 17 or 18 or 21 or 15 or whatever age you are, trying to take the emotional side out of it and have a clear mind and be able to evaluate, it's hard. We react off emotion and we make decisions emotionally, and that is very hard for a young girl or a young guy to really have a clear mindset. So and I love what you do, and I love what you speak of. Mentality is everything.
absolutely, 110%. Do you have any tips? Because I started this too. I know somewhere down the line, someone's going to watch this, and the gems that you drop and the jewels that you share, they're going to be able to take it and apply it to their lives and create a better life for themselves. So, do you have any maybe 2 or 3 tips that you would like to share with any? I would just say any leader, because I think when you play sports, when you get to a certain step, there's a lot of leadership in there. So, do you have anything you want to share for the leaders that maybe can help them create that routine and create that mindset?
Well, I would think everyone's got a playbook, so what is your playbook and I heard Butch Thompson, he's the head baseball coach at Auburn University. So he would always say his playbook was scripture. That was kind of like his anchor, his mainstay that would bring him back to kind of ground zero, that would get him back focused. So now, not everyone's a Christian. I understand that. So, what is it? A book? Is it a video? Is it something, a note from everyone has something that can bring them back to that mindset that helps them refocus. So having something like that is huge. I think on field, as a coach, as a player, having some type of mechanism or whether it's wiping, taking the hat off, brushing your hair back, hitting a reset button. We always talk about a reset button.
Mm-hmm.
When things start to scramble, having some type of mechanism or some type of way to hit that reset button, I think that's huge. But I tell you one thing that I wish I would have done more, and one of my minor league coaches encouraged it, was keep a notebook. Keep a notebook,
Yeah.
because and make notes of everything, because it's easy to ride that emotional roller coaster. And that's what we encourage our guys and the girls not to do, because you have a really good day, a bad day's coming. You have a bad day, a good day's coming. You know how it is. So, keeping notes, and when you're having that bad day and you can flip back 2 days ago, I had a really good day 2 days ago, and the day before that was bad. So, just having something to keep you even keel on everything, and just take everything as a learning opportunity. Not everything has to be doom and gloom. Hey, I had a bad day. Well, what did I learn from this? Or am I just going to be emotional about it and I'm just going to dwell and, okay, well, you know how life is tough. No one's going to feel sorry for us. No one's going to feel sorry, that you had a bad day or that I had a bad day. So how do we respond to that? So I think logging everything is huge for growth, huge for development, whether that's a personal planner, whether that's, just a regular notebook, and I think that goes back to helping with routine, because we're creatures of habit.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I'm really big on journaling. Bailey gets on me a lot because if I go to Barnes and Noble, if I go to Five Below, if I go somewhere that has journals, I'm going to get one. And she's like, don't you have enough? But I don't think you can ever have enough.
Right,
Um,
absolutely.
I invested in it's a 5-year, like one liner. So for 5 years, every single day, you can write 1 or 2 sentences about, your day. And this has been the 1 year that I've been super duper consistent. So it's always good to, when I'm looking at 2020, I can go up to 2019 and be like, oh, this is what I did that day. Oh, that's how I felt.
Right.
It's always good to have,
You can
a
reflect.
reminder and reflect and go back and, whether you had a good day or a bad day. Okay, I had a bad day. What am I going to do differently to overcome that bad day? So maybe it doesn't happen as frequently.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, and one thing that I think that is, when you asked about, like, some nuggets. So I want to help everyone. Sometimes less is more, and one thing that I'm trying to do is as a coach, or if you are a player, when you want to evaluate yourself, wait until you come down off that high, whether it's you're upset, whether you're feeling good. Give yourself 24 hours or 12 hours. Give yourself some time before you make decisions, before you act on things. Like, give yourself some time to breathe and slow down. And controlling your breathing is a different conversation, but I talk to my guys all the time about controlling the breathing, controlling the moment, controlling the atmosphere. But, I really think when you have time, like my pitchers, I'm always taking notes when they're on the mound. Early in my career, I'm barking at them from the dugout. I'm trying to, like, hey, I can't help them out there. They already have so much running through their head. I'm going to take notes. Like today, I get a young freshman, comes off the mound. He struggled a little bit. I'm like, hey, go do your conditioning. We'll talk later. Like, he doesn't want to hear that he had a bad day. He knows he had a bad day. So let's wait till he's in a better mindset. And then let's reflect, evaluate, set a plan, and move on. So timing is everything.
Timing is everything. And if I have any other coaches that happen to watch this, I hope you picked up what Drew just said. Like, that is a level of leadership and a level of coaching that is lacking. That mindset, that perspective is amazing. So I hope if you're watching this, you picked up that, Joel, because that was I saw you slid that in there. That was nice. That was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm learning though. So I'm not trying to ever make it seem, my boss, he's been in it for 24 years and he's helping me, the number one thing, if I had one thing to tell a coach, and I'm learning, I'm 31, I've been coaching for, 10 years, whatever, on and off. You have to be a chameleon. Like, you might have a kid, you can yell at them, you can get in their butt a little bit and get on them. But most kids now, and not even now, it's probably always been that way. Most kids don't respond that way.
Mm-hmm.
Have a conversation, pull somebody to the side, hey, I expect more out of you, et cetera. Not many kids respond, are tough-skinned enough to you can just rip them up and down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Most kids don't respond that way. Most kids, that doesn't motivate them because, most college athletes, student athletes in high school, even, like, they're intelligent enough to understand what they're doing wrong. Or they can soak in the information. So just screaming at them, because then if you always have to yell at a kid, now you're in a different conversation. Now it's about, okay, does he or she really want to be out here? Who's forcing them to be here? Like, is that fire that burns in your belly, like, you can't teach that. So now you're starting to get into different conversations. If I got to yell at you and to motivate you, like, hey, yell at my son, yell at my daughter. Well, hey, if I have to yell at them all the time, like, do they love this? Because I ask all my recruits, I ask my kids that come in for lessons, if mom and dad are going to spend their money, their time, do you love this? Do you really love this? If not, you're wasting my time, mom and dad's money, your time, everything. So I always, that's usually the number one question is do you love the game? But you have to be able to adapt to different personalities, because you could cuss me out. I didn't care. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. I'm wired a little bit different, but not everybody responds to that. So, young coaches, you got to be a chameleon.
I believe that. I believe that 110%. Let's talk about your business. Let's jump in there. We got
Okay.
a couple
Okay.
more minutes. Give us a little background. When did you start your business? What's the name of your business? Who influenced you and inspired you to create what you've been creating over the past several years?
Well, in 2010, when I got drafted, I wanted to make some extra money. And I was like, because in the minor leagues, you're only getting paid 5-6 months out of the year. And I came home for the off season, but nobody really wants to give you a real, like a good paying job when you're going to leave in March for spring
Yeah.
training. So I was like, well, maybe I can start trying to give back to kids and make some extra money, teach the game. So I started doing lessons on and off 2010. 2014, fast forward, I got out of the minor leagues. I started my first indoor facility. I failed, which is okay. I'm comfortable talking about that. I got in over my head, too big of a building, too big overhead. And I was like, I had to go big and bigger to start.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. I closed it down. I got into the college game, started coaching the college level, and, God works everything in full swing. So I was at Bluefield College. I was doing some lessons. I was like, you know what? I'm growing my business. Like, I need a facility. And this place was a wreck when I first got in here, just old storage building basically. And I have a year later, I've renovated. I just put a new ceiling, LED lights in. And I still had some work to do, but I'm down here on Bland Street in Bluefield, West Virginia. And I've been doing lessons for 10 years. And I love teaching the game. I love, because most kids in a high school, middle school setting, they're getting 2 hours of practice, and there's 15, 20 kids around in softball or baseball. So there's really not a lot of individual attention. There's not a lot of film work, video work, drill work. And I enjoy it. I love seeing kids get better. I love seeing kids grow their work ethic. And it's just been one of those things. It's very rewarding that, I'm blessed to be able to run my own business and write my own paycheck. And now, is it hard at times? Absolutely. Because if I don't get out of the bed and work, I don't get paid. So,
Absolutely.
so, but you know how that is, you own your own business. So I just, I love it. I love it. And I went back and forth. And what really got me to this point was I sold insurance for a year, and that's a very respectable industry. And a lot of people do really well financially in that business, and they love it, but it wasn't for me. And it took me, I think I worked for like 2 or 3 different companies in a year. Like, I just kept beating that dead horse, and that wasn't me. I love this. I love the game. I love helping. I just love when a former player texts me and said, hey, my baby was just born, or I'm getting married. Would you like to come? Or, thank you for helping me. Like, it just, it's rewarding to help those kids. And if I can pay my bills and, and provide for my family while doing that, then it's a win-win, and there's nothing for me personally with my business. I think you basically, you got to go to Carroll County or Salem, Virginia. And then from here, you got to go to Bristol, or you got to go up to Beckley. So there's really nothing like what I'm doing within 60, 70, 80-mile radius. So I thought, why not do what I've been doing my whole life and what I know the best?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And I mentioned earlier, I'd like to really start doing some things. There's some kids that come by sometimes, and I try and get them to come in, get some snacks. Like, hey, you're riding their bike, grab something to drink, get some snacks. So I want to be able to start doing that consistently. Like, hey, I understand there's underprivileged kids that need help, or you never know, 2 slices of pizza and a Gatorade might mean a ton to them.
Facts.
So I want to do stuff like that too, because at the end of the day, you can make the most money in the world, but if you're not helping others, and because you didn't get to where you're at without somebody's help. I didn't get to where I'm at without somebody's help. So now that level of help comes from, everyone's level of help is going to be a little bit different, but I just like seeing people succeed, and to know that I had a small part in that is rewarding.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm big on being of service, and you know, I personally feel like it's like our duty. Once we figure out what we're good at, well, we are great or master our craft, or we don't even need to master it completely, but we just have to know that that is our passion and we do it no matter what.
Right.
Once you realize what that is, it is your job and it's your obligation to share that.
Yep.
And how selfish would we be if we knew this, we were excellent at this, and we just kept it to ourselves?
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah. Why would we, why would God give us these gifts if we're not going to use them, essentially?
absolutely, absolutely. I always say, knowledge is like magic. It's great to possess, but it's better when it's shared. Like,
That's good. I like that. I'm going to
like
steal that. I like that.
that's
I like
fine.
that.
That's fine. You got it.
Somebody told me the other day, I can't remember who told me, but it sits with me. And correlates back to helping young kids. You're only as good or bad, you're only as good as what you know. And some people just don't know, whether it's my profession, I'm trying to teach them a skill or whatever it may be, so I try and take that into the mindset of I'm trying to learn every day. I want to wake up every day like I don't know anything, and I want to learn and learn and learn. And if I get to a point in my career where I'm not hungry to learn anymore, whether that's how the body works, whether that's task, being organized, whether that's how I'm doing, my bookkeeping, with my whatever it may be within my business, or like I need to go do something else. When I lose that passion, then I'll go do something else. But until then, I want to get better every single day.
Absolutely. I did loss prevention for several years, and we used to chase down bad guys. And I always got butterflies in my stomach every time we went for a stop. And one of one of the best people I've ever had the opportunity to work with, he said, Erin, his name was Erin as well. He said, Erin, when you go to stop someone and you don't get those butterflies in your stomach, you need to find something else to do, because mistakes are going to be made. You're going to end up getting hurt, or someone else is going to end up getting hurt. And
Right.
that rings true in life and everything that we do. The moment that fire, that burning, that passion is gone, is diminished, it's time to shift gears and do something else. Yeah.
I agree. Now, one thing, and I know we're like 30 minutes in or whatever, but one thing I want to add, and one thing that I'm very, very passionate about, is that I want to help diversify softball and baseball. We have some phenomenal athletes in the Bluefield area, Princeton area, this area, that I would love to see pick up a bat. If they want to come in and hit for the first time, I'm not going to charge them. You want to come in and swing the bat? Come on, because I feel like we stereotype athletes in our country. Like, hey, if you're a young African-American male,
You need
you're
to
going to
play
run
basketball.
and you're going to play football and you're going to run track.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you know what? You go look at the major league level, 70%, 60+% or whatever it is minority. So at the higher levels is very, very diversified. We need to create that same atmosphere. Now, I want to provide that platform. If they choose not to play, that's up to them. But I want to provide that platform. Hey, like, let's talk about it. Let's hey, introduce you to the game, whatever it may be. Put a game on in here while the other guys are working out or girls are working out. Like, I think our games miss out on some of the best athletes in the country. Now, that's a different conversation, because I feel like we continue, and it's not just minorities, it's everyone. We continue to outprice ourselves. And I wish I could do it for free, but I'm running a business. I understand that. But, the cost, and not just basketball, baseball, or baseball and softball, basketball, football, the costs that are just getting driven so high. So, but I would love that. That's one mission I've always had, is that, I would love to help diversify softball and baseball at the amateur levels. We're missing out on some of the best athletes. And I hope someday I can have an impact to help change that.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Do you have like maybe where would you start with that? What would you do?
Let them get in the cage. Let them hit, play catch, basics, simple stuff. Let them watch a game. I think it's huge that our area is going to keep. I know it won't be minor league baseball, but it's going to be college summer league. Some of the top freshman, sophomore prospects are going to start playing in the new Appalachian League. So I think it's great that baseball is going to still be played in the area. But yeah, hey, come in and hit. Open cage type deal. You want to come in and hit? Absolutely. If you're a kid that financially, whether you're a minority, whether you're white, whatever, doesn't matter, whatever race you want to come in and hit, and mom and dad don't have the means, hey, we'll make it work. If you love this or you hit something, like introduce you to the game, that's fine. Because I was fortunate growing up. I wasn't rich by any means, but my mom and dad worked extremely hard, and I was given some opportunities in the game. So, and not everyone has the same opportunities. So I want to help, especially those kids. So, that's my goal. And there's some big things in the next 10 years that I have planned that I'd like to do with that. I'd like to run some type of after school program for underprivileged kids. Stuff like that. I'd like to
that
get
would
it.
be amazing.
Yeah. Not just baseball, softball gear, but everything, tutoring, having a meal or a small snack after school, stuff like that. Just,
It's just something is something for the youth to do to keep them out of trouble.
Right.
And
Right.
I think that is what's overlooked when it comes to certain areas. It's like we want to throw a lot of police in that area, but if we provide the resources and the opportunities to kind of curve any type of negative behavior or anything, we just need to provide an outlet.
Yeah, outlet. Exactly.
We just need to provide an outlet. I agree 110%.
Especially with COVID, like with the whole COVID deal, some of these kids, their safest place is at school.
Yep. And now they've been home for how long?
Right.
Yeah.
And who knows, is mom or dad there? Are they getting a good meal?
Yeah.
So I would love to be able long-term to be able to do something like that to help some of these kids have the resources, and be on an equal playing field. So
yeah,
I think that would be huge. And I appreciate you just did a backpack drive, right?
Yeah. I do one of those
huge.
every
That's
year.
That's great. And that stuff, and you probably will never realize how big of an impact that has on some of those kids.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's awesome. So I definitely applaud you for that.
It's something that I was several years ago. I mean, I worked at Walmart, and we had so much stuff that just went on clearance, and I had just started EB Speaks, and I was like, yeah, I think I might be able to do. I had like 50 book bags and then like a bunch of pencils and stuff, and now as it's grown over the years, I still have stuff left over from 2 years ago that
That's great.
I need to go through and get rid of it if it's messed up and stuff. But I have boxes of stuff. So if you know anyone right now that needs notebooks, folders, pencils, pens, anything like that, please do not ever hesitate to reach out to me, because I got it all. I
That's
have it
great.
all.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, I appreciate you so much having me on, and I appreciate everything you're doing. And I know we'll talk later on, but we'll get together and we can make some things happen.
Absolutely. I have 2 more questions for you.
Of course. No, of course.
The first question is, if we wanted to support you, reach out to you, follow you, how could we do that? Where are you located on social media?
So Drew Bailey Baseball and Softball, which is, I probably could have came up with a shorter name, right?
It's fine.
But it's to the point. It's on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Coach Bailey 45. I'm on Instagram. Same thing, DB Baseball, Softball. People ask me all the time. I tell you what, if you wanted to support me, refer a kid who comes from maybe not a financially great situation that would love an opportunity to get in here. Drop off a 24-pack of water every now and then or something like that. I don't want you to donate money to my business. That's not what I want. God's been good to me, and I'm not getting rich, but I've done well this year. So I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of kids coming in and out of the doors. But yeah, 24-pack of water. When I start running these snack days and pizza days and stuff, maybe help pass out food or something like that. Something like that.
Awesome.
Just be kind to people, right?
Kindness is everything.
Yeah,
that's my staple. If you can't be kind, you need to be quiet. That's period. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Before we go, I want to acknowledge you, Drew, for everything that you're doing now and you will be doing in the future. I know that you've made an impact on so many children and probably on levels that you probably don't know. So I want to take this time to acknowledge you, all your accomplishments, all your achievements. I
Thank you.
want to acknowledge the privilege that you've had, right? Then and you've turned around and you're giving it back. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's greatly
Absolutely.
appreciated. And you're doing a great thing as well. And like I said, I look forward to doing some work with you in the future and continuing to hopefully have a positive impact on people's lives around us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Last and final question. You ready?
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you need to live a happy life?
Oh man, that's easy. That's easy. My kids, my fiance, my family, good health, and I think just gratification knowing that I'm having an impact on other people's lives. I think that's for me. My dad always grew me. Hey, well, I don't have to be rich. I don't have to make millions of dollars, but if I can pay my bills, maybe take a vacation every now and then and provide for my family and do something that I love. I cannot stress that enough. We are all going hopefully to the same place when we die, so um, having a positive impact on kids and people and just being a good person. I think that you just be a good person, do the right thing.
Mm.
It's hard. It's hard sometimes, but just do the right. I just want people to, hey, he was kind to me, or we've all made mistakes. We've all lost our cool. We've all done things we shouldn't do, but just, hey, he treated my son right, my daughter right. He was good to me. I think that means a lot. And I don't want the credit for that. Just knowing, we don't have to
If
do something
I
nice for
don't
somebody
need
and
it,
post it.
but it feels good. I don't need it, but it feels good to notice that someone appreciated it. You
Right. You
know,
want to feel valued. Everybody wants to feel
exactly.
valued.
And everybody wants to be seen.
Right.
Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. You know, sometimes when I see somebody do something nice, I acknowledge the person that did that something nice because nobody's paying attention. Somebody
Right.
held the door for someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and I see
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Small things.
It's
Small
small
things
things,
matter.
baby steps.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Drew, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you, Erin. I appreciate everything, and
Absolutely.
hope to talk soon.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely will.
All right.
All right,
Thank
now.
you. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
You too.
Yo, did you pick up the jewels that Drew was sharing with us? Like, mindset is everything. If you're not in the proper mindset, you'll lose every single time. Developing a really, really good routine and sticking to it. Journaling is big. You know that I'm really big on journaling. So journaling is huge. Do it. I promise you won't go wrong. And having a really, really good support system. Um, we didn't talk about that directly, but I heard through his answers that having that support system and having those people there and being one of those people to support others, if you can, that's what it's all about. I hope you guys enjoyed this last episode 12 of Let's Talk. And remember, you are uniquely created, and we'll talk soon.